You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Next.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Megan Thomas, at Meg Soup on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You're watching another episode of Black Hollywood Live Next. And if you hear this music and it makes you, your bones just want to move, it's because it's from Motherland. It's a great song. And so is our guest for today. Stay with the conversation. Use the hashtag BHL Next because we want to know what you guys want to talk about. We want to know your comments as well. So we have a great guest for you. You've seen him on shows like NCIS, Gilmore Girls, Lost, Heroes. Give it up for Adetokumboh M'Cormack. How did I do? All right?
Perfect.
80%?
Perfect. You sound like a Sardonian. Perfect.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me.
This really does. How am I supposed to dance to this?
Well, you're doing fine. Just like that, right.
Like this?
Some waist action, shoulder action.
Some waist, shoulder action. Okay. All right, I'm looking real stiff and sad, but that's all right. Well, let's start off the show. We're going to talk about a few things going on in the world. Let's start off with casting. Guess what's been going on? Auntie Vivica Fox is actually going to be on Empire. A lot of people are excited.
Oh, wow.
She's starring as Cookie's older sister. And allegedly, there may be a spinoff coming soon. The showrunner said, no, there's no such thing. But Lee Daniels did come out and say, well, yeah, obviously there should be one. And so I think there's going to be one in the works that shows Cookie's family before she met Lucius. And maybe the very beginning of her meeting Lucius. So this should be fun.
Fantastic. I'll definitely tune into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that is what started the whole controversy that you've heard this week with Vivica A. Fox and 50 Cent. It's gotten really, really ugly.
It got ugly.
Because 50 did say, or allegedly said, that he thought that the ratings for the second season of Empire has gone down because of so much gay stuff. And, of course, she went in and said, well, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Which is weird because she used to date him. So I'm like, what does that mean?
What does that say about you?
It's so messy. What do you think when you see like celebrities going at it and you're like, what is, like, guys, get back to the work. Like, what does that make you feel?
Yeah, I just think it's, you shouldn't expose your personal business to the world.
Right.
It should remain private. And I think the world doesn't need to know what's going on behind closed doors. It's just.
But what if somebody said something about you, that was personal? How do you diplomatically handle that?
I think you should take the high road somehow. Don't really address it, don't engage, and don't throw someone else under the bus and say nasty things about them. Right. For me, it's just like, okay, that's their issue, and that's how they personally feel about it. Whatever, I'm moving on. So
yeah, I can't say anything bad, or I can't see anyone saying anything bad about you. Your voice is like so calming and like perfect. There's the hint of the British accent. It's so amazing.
Thank you so much.
How many languages do you speak, by the way?
Only a couple. I wish I spoke more. I speak Creole, my national language. I speak that fluently. I speak a little bit of Swahili, a little bit of French, and of course English.
Yes, I love it. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff that's going on in casting. You're going to see a lot more of Wendy Williams because her contract has now been extended to 2022. Now, that doesn't include her show, which is really weird. Her actual contract is with the studio, so I guess for other projects, but technically her show falls under the studio, so more than likely they'll renew her for the Wendy Williams show as well.
Yeah, of course.
Do you like Wendy Williams?
I love Wendy Williams.
I like her a lot more now that she's not on radio. She was a little mean, but I think...
On the radio she's mean. I recently heard the interview that she had with Whitney Houston.
Oh my gosh,
and I was like, whoa!
She was so mean. She went in. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. She got on TV. They told her, you can't do that, honey. People aren't going to watch it.
People aren't going to watch it.
Right.
So, but yeah, I find that she asks very provocative questions, and she's very interesting to watch. So
yes.
Yeah.
So Lionsgate TV, you're going to see her until 2022. So if you don't like her, you better. You're going to see a lot more of her. All right. The Fresh Beatz this week. If you haven't heard the song, you've been living under a rock. It's the new Missy Elliott song. It's called WTF. Where they from? It's hot. I mean, it's so infectious when you hear it. Just listen.
shit look fun. That's how they do it where we from. You know it don't start till 1. That's how they do it where they from. I'm so faded, no exaggeration.
I am so excited that Missy Elliott is back.
Yes.
Doesn't this remind you when she had I Can't Stand the Rain?
Yes,
and she was just like...
I was in Kenya listening to that almost every day. Yeah,
right.
I love the video was amazing. Her rap was amazing. It was fantastic.
It's just, it reminds me of old Missy, and I miss that Missy that had the crazy videos that you just had to watch. You had to learn the dance moves.
The style, the dances, yes.
She still has the kids dancing in the video. Like, you know, that's awesome. So Missy Elliott is back. You can get that song on iTunes. It's called Where Are They From, WTF. All right, let's talk about the next big thing. The next big thing is Dunkin' Donuts coffee cups, because there's a lot of controversy that's going on right now, if you haven't heard. Starbucks has unveiled its holiday cup. Typically, they have words that embody Christmas, but this year they just went with a plain red cup and their green logo.
Yeah.
And, of course, the conservative Christians are angry because they left Christmas off the cup. And then Dunkin' Donuts somehow is capitalizing because theirs is full of joy, and they've got like festive words and Christmas wreaths and everything. So apparently that's what Christmas is about. Because the conservative Christians aren't going off on that.
I mean, there are more important things in the world to be angry about than a cup.
Right.
You know, I think it's all encompassing. I'm glad that, you know, it doesn't alienate Muslims or Jewish people, or, you know, it's great, I think. I support the red cup. And I'm Christian.
Right. And I'm Christian too, and I was actually embarrassed that anybody would have a problem with a red cup.
Yes.
Because the whole point is, if you're mad that they took these words off of a cup because they're trying to take Christmas away, then you should have been mad before that, because these words had nothing to do with Christmas, okay? They had to do with a holiday season. They had nothing to do with little baby Jesus in a manger. So you should have been mad years ago. Right. Like, they're way too late now. Come on, conservative Christians, get your life together.
Get it together.
Let's get it together. All right, let's talk about you. Yep. You're such an amazing actor, and I know you were born in Sierra Leone, right?
I was born in Sierra Leone, yes.
But you grew up in Nigeria and Kenya?
And Kenya, that's right.
Where do you consider yourself from?
That's a really good question. I think culturally I identify most with Sierra Leone because my parents are Sierra Leonean. The food that I eat, the language I speak is Sierra Leonean. But I think I'm pretty much a citizen of the world, really. Mm-hmm. You know, having grown up in Kenya, and I had a lot of international friends. I had friends from, you know, England and America and Sweden and Switzerland and all over the world. So I think I basically embody all of these different countries and cultures.
Right. Yeah. Now, did you always want to be an actor?
Yes.
So I know you started at age 4, right?
Yes.
Were your parents supportive, or were they like, no, you got to be a doctor or something else?
You know, it's funny. My parents, I have 4 sisters, and my siblings all have PhDs, and they're all extremely brilliant. Yes, and I think people would assume, and my dad was a diplomat, that people would assume that I would go into, you know, either the diplomatic field or be a doctor, be a lawyer. But my mother was an actress, actually, and I think somewhere in her genes, she passed it on to me. And so at an early age, I just kept acting. And I remember my dad tells me the story when I was like 10 or 11. I think my grades were suffering a little bit, and I had to go to I was in a play, and my dad kept having to take me to rehearsals, and it just became really difficult on my grades and the family and everything else. And so they removed me from the play. They pulled me out of the play, and a few days later, my dad gets a call from the headmaster, the principal. And he was like, is something going on in your family? I need you and your wife to come in for a conversation. So my dad comes into the principal's office, and the principal's like, okay, what's going on at home? Your son's depressed, and we need to figure out what's happening. My dad's like, well, we just took him out of the school play. And the principal said, well, for God's sake, put him back. And that's when my parents knew that I had to be an actor. I had no choice in the matter. It's just something I needed to do.
Right. Yeah. And I know one of your very first movies that you ever did was The Great Elephant Escape.
Yes.
With
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes. Tell us about that. How was that?
Oh, we were wee little lads. I was 12, I think he was 13. And we shot this in 1994 in Kenya. And we're co-leads, and there's a story about these 2 kids who try and save this elephant from these poachers and this evil businessman. And we go through the wild, and we encounter hyenas and lions and all these animals. We almost lose our lives, and the stunts. It's a great film. It's a nice little Disney film. And but for me, that was a turning point for me when I decided that I wanted to become an actor professionally. So it was no longer just a hobby, or it was something I did at school. It was something that I knew I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So
how did you? What was that audition process like?
I didn't even take it that seriously, to be honest. I was, in the middle of it, I was rehearsing for the Kenya National Choir was doing this thing called the Handel's Messiah Chorus, and I was trying to do that, and I missed the first audition, I missed the second audition, and then finally, the casting director, there was a Kenyan casting director named Lenny Juma. He had seen me on stage, I think it was a play called Smike, and he was like, he told the directors, you've got to see this actor, he's fantastic, and he's the one. And so I went in, they had a special audition, and I went in on that very last day. And I performed, messed up my lines, by the way. I had this long monologue that was a page and a half long, and I couldn't remember it to save my life.
Right.
And at the end of it, I thought I completely blew it. And I left the room, in tears, thinking I didn't get the part. And next thing I know, the director runs out. He's like, you got the part. George Miller was the director, and it was probably the happiest day of my life.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah.
And so then from there, you just knew, okay,
I just knew, and I spoke to my parents, and I said, listen, I really want to take acting more seriously, and I want to do this as a career. And they were fully supportive. They were like, if this is what you want to do, then we will support you 110% of the way. And the one condition was that I would go to university.
Right.
Which, and I'm glad I did. And so I enrolled in the Conservatory of Acting program at SUNY Purchase. And I got accepted. I mean, it was a very competitive school, very rigorous audition process. And I got in, and I was just thrilled to bits. I got really, really good training, and I graduated and lived in New York for a little bit, traveled the world, and eventually came to Los Angeles.
So why did you choose to go to school in America?
At the time, for me, I knew that I wanted to be a stage actor, first and foremost, and Broadway was was everything.
Right.
And I looked at all the other actors that I respected. At the time, it was Stanley Tucci and Edie Falco and Parker Posey. And Wesley Snipes, I had a movie, I think it was Blade, that came out, and I found out that Wesley Snipes had gone to SUNY Purchase, and I said, I want to go to that I want to go to that school, I want to be like Wesley. And so it was a no-brainer. I auditioned for a bunch of them, but SUNY Purchase was my first choice, and just because I really respected the actors, I respect the faculty, I respect the acting program,
right.
And so when I got in, it was like, yeah, that's the one I want to go to. I'm going.
And I know you've been everywhere in the world. Would you ever go back to Africa and do what you do now and be an actor there? Because Nollywood in Nigeria is blowing up. Have you ever thought about that?
I've thought about it, but being Sierra Leonean, I want to go back to my hometown, my home country, and I want to work with the actors there and just develop them, and the filmmakers, and just elevate these filmmakers so they can be on par with the American, be on par with the West. And so, I mean, this December I'm going to be working with a few actors and also some filmmakers just to produce a movie about a former child soldier. It's called DDR Driver, who grows up and is trying to, deal with the wounds of his past, the physical and, metaphorical wounds,
right.
And move on. So it's a very touching story, a very powerful story, but I'll be working with Sierra Leoneans and working with Americans. It'll be a really nice little co-production.
Oh, that's good. So wait, is it going to take place in Sierra Leone?
Half it's going to take place in Sierra Leone. I don't want to give too much away, but a lot of it takes place. A lot of it's told through flashbacks, and so you see how this kid became who he is today. And
I'm excited. I want to watch, especially because I saw Beatz of No Nation on Netflix. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. So this is making me like, film. I have to watch more of these.
Well, yeah, no, because the thing is, I remember when I did the movie Blood Diamond, I did a lot of research with former child soldiers, and I spent a few weeks in Sierra Leone talking to them and just figuring out, how they felt at the time, and also ultimately at the time it was 10 years after the Civil War. And they were just still traumatized, and they were not accepted back into society. They felt just like they had no place.
Right.
And I felt, oh goodness, someone has to tell a story about these kids,
right.
and we need to find a place for them, because these are our future, and they're going to give birth to our futures as well. So I said, it's my responsibility, especially as a Sierra Leonean, because goodness knows, if my father wasn't a diplomat, if we didn't have the privileges that we did, I could have been one of these child soldiers.
Right.
So it is my responsibility to tell this story.
That is amazing. So what I wanted to ask you was, what have some of the challenges been being an actor that, you're from another country, you come to the US, the customs are different. What are some of the things that you would say have been your biggest challenges? Culturally,
I think culturally, interesting enough, my challenges have been fighting stereotypes. Being a Sierra Leonean African actor and people saying things like, okay, I had an audition recently, was it, a couple of years ago, and I won't say who the casting director was, but I walked into the audition room and she was like, Ade, I need you to this guy is a military guy, but you're so articulate, and yes, you did a perfect American accent, but I need you to be more urban. Like, this guy's from the hood, he's from the streets, and she's like, you come in with your muscles and your shaved head and your dark chocolate skin and your wide African nose. You're not gonna play a doctor or a lawyer. You're gonna play someone from the hood, play someone from the streets.
Oh wow!
So fix the way he talks. It goes the way you look, and I'm like, what?
Oh wow!
What are you saying?
Oh my gosh!
Yes, just fighting, just basically based on one's look, that one cannot play, or one's accent, or one's that they cannot play a doctor, they can't play something that will defy stereotype because of the fact that they look a certain way.
Right. And then we had a great actress that was here, half Nigerian, and her name's Tokes Olagundoye.
Yes.
And so she was telling us how in this industry a lot of people have tried to get her to change her name to make it easier.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
So people do that to you as well?
Well, yes, constantly. I mean, my name is very intimidating. Mm-hmm. So, but for me, it's the name my mother gave me. And I'm so proud of it, and I love it. I love what it stands for. Adetokumboh means crown carried over the waters. And, every day I try to be some sort of ambassador for my people. I try to, just basically show that we are not, people who are like climbing in trees and with tails. And trust me, I've heard people say, do Africans have tails? And there's been a lot of...
serious?
I'm totally serious.
Oh my gosh. This is so sad, America. Come on, guys.
So constantly trying to fight these negative stereotypes and images of people from my continent.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, my name is intimidating, but I feel like it is a great conversation starter when I walk into an audition room or I meet new people who are like, wait, what is that name? It's I get to educate them somewhat about my culture.
Right. Well, on behalf of people who are from America, I'm sorry. That is horrible. People even say that. So, I mean, you've been super busy in Hollywood. Yes. You've been on shows that I love, Lost. You've been on Gilmore Girls. You've been on Heroes. Yeah. To date, what has been your favorite TV show or film that you've worked on?
Great question. I think the role that touches me the most, my late grandfather was a priest, and I had the opportunity to play a priest on Lost.
Okay.
And I got to work with the tremendously talented Adetokumboh. And just being in Hawaii and, saying words that were written by the phenomenal Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof and J.J. Abrams, it was just such a beautiful show, so well written, so beautifully acted. The location was unparalleled. And so for me, the couple of decades of my career, that for me is one of the most beautiful moments for me as an actor. Right.
Now, since you guys were in such a beautiful location, did you get to hang out and I'm gonna enjoy Hawaii a little bit after I'm done shooting?
Yeah, well, the good thing about working on Lost is we would shoot for maybe a couple of days, and I was a recurring guest star, so they'll fly me out for maybe 10, 11 days, and I'd only shoot for 2 or 3. So for the rest of the time, nice. I was like, I'm going to the beach, and I'm hanging out. I never learned to surf, though. I mean, I go as far as being in the water, but I always wanted to surf. But yeah, it was such a great place to be and to see a different culture, and, this Hawaii, which is part of America, but it's just, it's still so different, and they've maintained their culture. It was incredible. I learned so much about their people. It was like a history lesson for me and a geography lesson too.
Right. Now you also have done a few video games. So Call of Duty and then what is it, Ace Combat?
Ace Combat, yes.
What voices do you use? Do you use your regular voice or do you have to do different accents?
Oh yeah, for the different video games, I've done American accents. That's a lot of the like Ace Combat, I think was a guy in he's a pilot, and so he had to be very American. And then, but for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which came out last November, I played Captain Ajani, who was the commander of the Nigerian military. and I got to play a Nigerian, and the Nigerian accent's very similar to the Sierra Leonean accent. So it wasn't just my voice. I got to basically, dress up in this like motion capture suit, and then they basically generated my likeness and put it into the video game. So it's actually you get to play me, which freaks a lot of my friends out, because they're like, who didn't know? They'd be like, dude, you're in a video game. Like I'm playing you in a video game, and they all would try and shoot me for some strange reason.
Some good friends you got.
Exactly. I'm like, come on, guys. But yeah, it was a great experience and trippy to see myself in a video game. It looks exactly like you.
That's
the
crazy.
Technology is incredible nowadays. So.
I've got to see this. Okay, give me a line of something that you had to say in your Nigerian accent.
Oh gosh. Well, okay, so I did a movie called Battle Los Angeles where I had to play a Nigerian, and one of the lines I had to say was, actually I can't say it because it's got a swear word, but it's like, I'll
You can say it. It's internet.
He goes, well, one of my co-stars goes, hey, hell of a place to be, right, Doc? Because I play a medic named Courtney. And I'm not happy about the situation where there's alien invasions and all these aliens trying to kill us. And I go, shit, I'd rather be in Afghanistan.
Do your friends ever, or friends or family ever give you flack like, yo, your accent is not right?
Well, sometimes.
Okay.
It's a tough thing because of the fact that, I've grown up in so many different places. And the funny thing is Sierra Leonean accents is so specific. So you have people who are... for example, people don't know this about Africa. Once again, it's a quick history lesson. In Sierra Leone, you have so many different ethnic groups. Mm-hmm. So you have the Creoles, you have the Mendis, you have the Timinis, and each group has their different accents. So you might have a Timini being like, well, was that a Mendi accent you're doing? I'm like, no, I'm doing this other accent. And everyone has their own opinions as to what kind of accent you want to do.
Oh, gotcha.
And also what people don't realize is the fact that accents these days have changed. I've done a few South African. I do a lot of accents. And it's what people don't realize is we develop as a society. It's now 2015. Accents lend from other accents. Mm-hmm. So you look at me, for example, being a Sierra Leonean who grew up in Kenya. I don't have a typical Sierra Leonean accent. Right. I don't have a typical Kenyan accent. It's there's an evolution of society and people who just now have different accents, which lend from the people they've been around, and also from television. We were, for example, growing up in Kenya, we watched a lot of American shows, we watched a lot of British shows, we watched a lot of Australian shows. So it's just, I think there's like a sort of amalgamation of all these different things swimming around in my voice.
Well, that's awesome, by the way. Very awesome. So the most recent thing that I know that we've probably seen you on is NCIS. You were Matt Russo.
Yes.
What was it like to be on that set?
Oh, they are the nicest cast members in the world.
That's good.
The nicest. And first of all, I got to work with my hero, Mark Harmon. Mark Harmon did a movie over 20 years ago called After the Promise, and that inspired me to be an actor. It was one of the reasons why I became an actor. And he's just such a giving, such a gracious, such a talented actor. Mm-hmm. And after every take, he'd be like, can I do something different? What can I do for you? And I was like, whoa, you're perfect. Just do it again. But thank you for asking. And of course, one of my really, really good friends, Polly Perrette, is on the show as well. So it was a dream come true to get to work with her finally, and after all these years of knowing her. And but yeah, as far as an actor goes, that was one of the best experiences that I've ever had.
Right.
Yeah, working on television.
Did you tell him when you saw him? Like, what did he say?
I was like, he was so honored, and he's just such a shy, nice person, but he was very, very honored by that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad he wasn't just like, so.
I know, right? Like, oh, crushed. No, but it was everything I wanted it to be and more.
Okay, so I know you're doing some directing.
Yes.
You've got Me+1.
I've got Me+1.
What is that about?
Me+1 is loosely based on my cousin's life, Zinga Blake, and it's about it's a comedy about this woman who is an actress, host, comedian, socialite who takes some time off to have a child, and then has a divorce and comes back and finds that after 3 years of taking time off from the industry's radically changed.
Right.
It's a world of Twitter. It's a world of, posting things on Facebook and Instagram. And she's like, whoa, what is going on? And she's trying to make a comeback into the industry and also raise a 3-year-old child at the same time. And so it's just a comedic look at her experiences as a single mom in the entertainment industry. And it's fantastic. It's a fantastic little story. I'm so proud of it. We got into the Hong Kong Pineapple Underground Film Festival, which is where we'll premiere. And it's a really, really good story. I'm very proud of it. And I'm very proud of all our actors. Scotty Thompson's in it, and she's absolutely brilliant. And she's also an NCIS. And Carly Steele and Jonathan Chase and Gavin Houston and Neil Brown Jr. from Straight Outta Compton's in it as well. And so we've got a tremendous cast, and it's a great, great little film.
And how, being a director, you stepped into a different field of the entertainment world. How different was that than being an actor?
Oh, first of all, you're first on set and you're the last one to leave.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, this is work. This sucks. What do you mean I can't go home? What do you mean I have to plan a shot list? It was a rigorous experience, but I think it helped me become a better actor because I understood. I also produced it, and I was also like an assistant director. I was doing all these different jobs. But what it taught me was to respect the process more of filmmaking. And I loved it. I really, really did. It was an enriching experience. It was a learning experience. And I just had a really good time. I just also didn't realize how hard it is. And I respect my directors a little bit more at the end of it. And I'm like, I'm not going to be difficult. And I'm not a difficult actor at all. But you just gain a better respect for everybody who works on a film, from your ADs, from your production assistant, from anybody, the Teamsters. It's just everyone works so hard. And so I now respect every person who works on a project.
Are you going to be directing more?
Yeah, so DDR Driver, I will be directing the next project, and I'm nervous about it, but it's going to be great. It's going to be great fun, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. And I know you also do a lot of charitable work.
Yes, I do.
So with Stand Up to Cancer, AIDS Project LA, Wild Aid, Inception to Exhibition, and End Ebola Now. That's a lot. That's a lot of giving back. Why so many organizations, and why these particular ones?
Okay, so these particular ones, for example, Inception to Exhibition was the first nonprofit I got involved with, and I remember as an actor, when I graduated from acting school, I found that it was really difficult to get a job. And, I think a lot of people have these misconceptions about people who come to Hollywood or acting schools. And when they graduate, they think, oh, it's going to be great. You're going to have jobs right off the bat. And I was dating, this girl who's a phenomenal dancer at the time, and she couldn't work. And I was like, wait, what's going on? And so we realized what we needed to do was we basically needed to create something for other people, because thankfully we ended up working, and she ended up, joining a phenomenal company, and I ended up, having a career. But we said we don't want other talented people to not have the opportunities that we had, and so whatever we can do to make it easier for them, we will. So we have places where they can showcase their talents. We also fundraise so that we can actually get money. So let's say if they're a dance company, we will we provide part of the budget so that they can, just basically afford to showcase their works. So, and then of course things like End Ebola Now, being Sierra Leonean, I was touched by that. I knew people who contracted Ebola, and it was a personal thing for me. And I said, whatever I can do, and some of my celebrity friends and other Sierra Leoneans in the industry, whatever we can do to spread the word and raise awareness about this, and ultimately end Ebola now, we'll do. And so that's what we did, and we shot a bunch of PSAs. We did a...
Wait, was Dwayne Richmond in one?
Yes, he was.
Dwayne was here. He's been a guest on Next. Hey, Dwayne.
Shout out to Dwayne.
I remember when he was here, he was telling us about the PSAs that he was shooting. That's why, as you're saying this, I'm like, this sounds really familiar.
That's exactly. And Dwayne was phenomenal in helping us, and it's all of our organization, and then we got Kevin Bacon involved. We did a campaign called Shake Ebola Off, and it just took off, and we were on all the news channels, and ultimately I think that's what helped contribute to ending the Ebola crisis, which as of Saturday we are Ebola free.
Yay! You better shake that off. Then. You better shake that Ebola off. All right. Well, you mentioned dating. Are you dating anyone now? As you take a drink,
I'm like, there's just no time, unfortunately. I mean, right now it's I'm a single. I'm a bachelor. So,
What's your family like when it comes to dating? Are they strict, like you need to marry a nice Sierra Leonean girl? Or are they like whoever?
I think ideally they would like me to marry a nice Sierra Leonean girl. I don't know if that's gonna happen. But yeah, I'd never say never. But yeah, it's just they're very supportive now of whoever I end up dating. I have sisters who I think when we grew up were like, well, we'll marry Sierra Leoneans, but you realize in this country, in this world, it's whoever you end up falling in love with and who you have a connection with, and they may or they may not be Sierra Leonean. The most important thing is, do they make you happy? So
right.
Yeah.
What are some qualities that you look for? But because there's ladies on Twitter that are ready right now, they'll be tweeting you, I'm sure.
Okay, I know, yeah. Someone makes me laugh, and beautiful inside as well as outside. But internal beauty is the most important thing. Are you generous? Are you kind? Do you help other people?
Right.
That's the biggest thing for me. Just someone who's a good person at heart.
Somebody's gonna hit your DMs like, it was me. You're looking for me, Ade. Be prepared. Okay. What are some of the upcoming projects that you have?
So working on, actually right now I'm doing a little thing. It's a web series called Get Your Life with the incredible Amanda Seales, and
which I've seen actually. That's actually she's really, really funny.
She's hysterical. So we went to college together.
Okay,
that's how I know Amanda, and she was amazing back then, and I'm just so happy to see her career skyrocket. So she approached me with this project one day. She was like, I've got a role for you, and you'll play like my ex-boyfriend, and like Mr. Wall Street, and it's written for you. Because she knows me so very well, and it's outrageous, it's hysterical, and I love doing it. It's funny because I never ever get the chance to play comedy, and so people who know me know that I can be funny.
Right.
And so she wrote this great role that's just so me. It's so up my alley, and it's been a lot of fun to shoot. So it airs. It already premiered a couple of weeks ago. Season 2 just came out last week, and the next few episodes will be on over the next few weeks.
Oh, this is gonna be good then.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's on Issa Rae's channel as well.
Issa Rae's channel, exactly. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Issa Rae's channel.
So acting is a hard industry. What's some advice that you have for somebody that wants to pursue acting full time?
Get ready. No, acting's really, really. If you want to be good at it, it takes a lot of work. If you want to be successful, it takes a lot of work. I remember Ben Affleck said something very interesting when he won an Oscar, I think it was last year. And he said, you have to work harder than you think you do.
Right.
And people don't realize that it takes work.
Right.
I don't sleep sometimes.
Wow.
No, literally, because I try to work so freaking hard. You don't take vacations. You eat, breathe, live your artistry. And too many people are caught up with, fame and fortune. No. Be a good artist.
Right.
Get in class, get in school, train. There's so many acting programs that are not 4-year conservatories like I went to, but just do a few months of classes, but just do the work, be diligent about it. And once you can perfect your artistry, then go on to start working and just stay in it. I mean, the times I've wanted to quit, after being told, you'll never be a lawyer. I mean, of course that, and having, this was 12 years into my career, it was still, I remember, honestly, I went home and I was like, rhinoplasty. I started Googling things like that. And it's scary because people have so much power over you. And then you realize, wait a minute, I think I talked to my cousin, Zinga, and she was like, you're beautiful just the way you are. Forget what these people say. And it's true. You need also people around you who reinforce, that you are a great person. God made you beautifully as you are. So
that's some really good advice for people who are always like, I gotta change everything about me for people to love me.
Yeah, exactly. No, not at all. Just be you, and you realize that people really would love you for who you are.
That is awesome. And then where can all of your fans find you on social media and online?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at Adetokumboh, which is really difficult to spell. Well, to pronounce rather. But that's
just like at the bottom of the screen, guys.
At Adetokumboh, Adetokumboh. And on Facebook and Instagram as well. It's all the same handle at Adetokumboh.
Okay. Well, at least you don't have to switch it up. My name, Megan Thomas. People have it, know.
No, I'm the one and only. So.
Awesome. And if you guys love the show, make sure you support our supporters. One of them being DraftKings.com. Now, DraftKings is a weekly fantasy football league. It's not, you don't have to make any season-long commitments. You literally get to pick new players every single week, so you don't have to worry about anyone that's on injured reserve or someone that's questionable for the week. You can get them off your team and get a whole new team next week. There's a new millionaire every single week this season. You could turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. I am down with that because I would like $1 million for choosing a team fantasy football. So make sure you go to DraftKings.com. Hurry to DraftKings.com now, and then you can use our promo code BLACK to play free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter BLACK for free entry now at DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com. Ade, thank you so much for joining us. You were totally awesome. I had so much fun with you.
I did too. Thank you so much.
I cannot wait to see the upcoming projects that you have.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Wonderful.
You very much. Thank you.
You can find me, Megan Thomas, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. Make sure you use the handle BHL Next so we can see all of your comments and let us know who you'd like to see on this show because they just might show up. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.